I worked at Regional Medical Center for 24 years, 364 days. One day before my pension vested, they fired me. Said budget cuts. I'm a healthcare administrator with an MBA and connections across the industry. 5 years later, I'm on their board. This is how I took them down from the inside. My name is Linda Vasquez. I'm 61 years old. And I destroyed the career of every person who tried to destroy mine. I started at Regional Medical Center in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, in 1995. I was 32. Single mother of 2. Working my way up from admissions clerk to department supervisor to senior administrator. I was good at my job. Patient satisfaction scores improved in every department I managed. Costs went down. Efficiency went up. I got promoted every 3 years like clockwork. By 2015, I was Director of Operations. Salary, $145,000. Overseeing 400 employees across 6 departments. I'd put both my kids through college on that salary. Bought a house. Saved for retirement. The hospital had a pension plan, old school, rare in modern healthcare. If you worked 25 years, you vested. Full pension at retirement, 60% of your final salary for life. I was 1 year away. In 2019, Regional Medical was acquired by MediCorp Health Systems, a national chain known for cutting costs and maximizing profits. New CEO arrived. Bradley Hamilton. Harvard MBA. 45 years old. Corporate shark. He brought his own team. VP of Operations. CFO. CMO. All outsiders. All younger. All making twice what the previous team made. First thing Hamilton did, mandatory efficiency review. Translation, layoffs. In March 2020, right as COVID hit, Hamilton called me into his office. Linda, you've been with Regional for a long time. 24 years. Right. And you're an asset. Institutional knowledge. Relationships. We value that. I knew where this was going. But we're restructuring. The new model doesn't support your current role. We're eliminating the Director of Operations position. My stomach dropped. When? Effective March 20th. 2 weeks notice. You'll receive severance, 6 months salary. Very generous. March 20th was 364 days before my pension vested. Bradley, I'm 1 year away from my pension. I understand. Unfortunately, the business needs take priority. You can't do this. This is age discrimination. Pension interference. He smiled. Cold. Linda, you're an at-will employee. We can terminate your position for any reason. The restructuring is well documented. You'll find everything in order. He slid a folder across the desk. My termination paperwork. You have until 5 p.m. to clean out your office. Underscore 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 underscore. I consulted 3 employment lawyers. All of them said the same thing, it's legal. Unethical, but legal. They timed it deliberately, but proving pension interference is nearly impossible. I was devastated. 24 years. Gone. 1 day short of financial security. But I'm not someone who gives up. I started researching MediCorp. Underscore 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 underscore. MediCorp Health Systems operated 40 hospitals across 12 states. Publicly traded. Revenue, $8 billion annually. Their business model was simple. Acquire struggling rural hospitals, cut costs aggressively, maximize revenue, sell or close facilities that didn't perform. Regional Medical was their latest acquisition. I pulled their SEC filings. Read every quarterly report. Analyzed their board composition. And I found something interesting. MediCorp's board had 15 members. 12 were healthcare executives or investors. 3 were community representatives, people from areas where MediCorp operated hospitals. The community representatives were supposed to advocate for local interests. Make sure MediCorp didn't abandon communities. In practice, they were token positions. Figureheads. But they had voting power. And one of those seats, the representative for Iowa, was up for election in 6 months. Community board seats were elected by stakeholder committees, groups of local leaders, physicians, and former hospital employees who'd been with the organization for 15+ years. I qualified. I rallied everyone I'd worked with over 24 years. Nurses, doctors, administrators, people who remembered when regional medical cared about patients instead of profits. I ran for the community board seat. My platform: protect regional medical, hold MediCorp accountable, ensure local voices matter. I won by a landslide. In November 2020, I joined the MediCorp board of directors. Bradley Hamilton's face when I walked into my first board meeting was priceless. As a board member, I had access to everything: financial reports, strategic plans, executive compensation, operational data. And I started building a case. MediCorp was bleeding regional medical dry. They'd cut nursing staff by 30%, closed 2 operating rooms, reduced the ER budget, deferred maintenance, eliminated community health programs. Meanwhile, executive salaries had increased 40%. Bradley Hamilton was making $850,000 a year, plus bonuses, while nurses were being forced to work double shifts because there wasn't enough staff. I documented everything. Then I started talking to journalists. In March 2021, the Cedar Rapids Gazette ran a front-page story: MediCorp's profit over patients, how a national chain is gutting regional medical. The article detailed the cuts, the executive compensation, the declining patient care quality. It quoted me, anonymously, as a former senior administrator. The community was outraged. Local politicians got involved. State health officials launched an investigation. MediCorp stock dropped 8% in 2 days. The board called an emergency meeting. Bradley Hamilton presented a plan to restore community confidence. More PR. More corporate speak. I raised my hand. Bradley, the community doesn't need PR. They need accountability. Why are executive salaries up 40% while nursing staff is down 30%? He bristled. That's oversimplifying. Is it? I have the numbers right here. I slid a report across the table. Your salary alone could fund 15 full-time nurses. The other board members looked uncomfortable. Linda, this isn't appropriate. What's not appropriate, I said, is destroying a hospital that served this community for 70 years so you can hit profit targets and get your bonus. The room went silent. I'm calling for a vote of no confidence in CEO Bradley Hamilton. It took 6 months, but I won. Bradley was forced to resign in September 2021. MediCorp appointed an interim CEO, then a permanent one, someone with actual healthcare experience instead of just an MBA and a profit fetish. Regional medical got new leadership. Funding was restored. Nurses were rehired. And I stayed on the board to make sure it stuck. But I wasn't done. In 2022, I filed a class action lawsuit against MediCorp on behalf of everyone who'd been terminated within 1 year of pension vesting. There were 47 of us. All let go for restructuring. All just short of their pensions. The case took 2 years. In 2024, we won. MediCorp settled for $12 million. Each plaintiff received full pension restoration plus damages. My share, $340,000. But the money wasn't the point. The point was justice. I'm still on the MediCorp board. I'm still fighting to make sure communities aren't sacrificed for corporate profits. And Bradley Hamilton? Last I heard, he's consulting. No hospital will hire him. Because I made sure everyone in healthcare knew exactly what he did. Some people think revenge is beneath them. I think accountability is everything.